From Atlanta to global fame, Young Thug's meteoric rise. Atlanta, Georgia, has long been a breeding ground for hip-hop talent. From Outkast to Gucci Mane, the city has produced some of the genre's biggest names. In the 2010s, a new wave of artists emerged from Atlanta, pushing the boundaries of hip-hop with experimental sounds and unconventional styles. Among them was Jeffrey Lamar Williams, better known to the world as Young Thug. Young Thug's rise to fame was anything but ordinary. With a distinctive vocal style that defied categorization and a fashion sense that blurred gender lines, he quickly became one of the most talked-about figures in music. His sound, a unique blend of melodic flows, distorted vocals, and trap beats, captivated a generation. Hits like Stoner and Danny Glover propelled him to mainstream success. Collaborations with artists like Drake, Kanye West, and Travis Scott solidified his status as a global icon. Young Thug's influence extended far beyond his music. He became a fashion icon, challenging traditional notions of masculinity with his bold and androgynous style. He was a trendsetter. His impact felt not only in hip-hop, but also in the worlds of fashion, art, and popular culture. But just as his career reached new heights, a legal storm was brewing, one that would threaten to derail everything he had worked for.
The RICO Act, passed in 1970, was designed to dismantle organized crime syndicates. It allows prosecutors to target not just individual crimes, but the entire criminal enterprise. To utilize RICO, prosecutors must establish the existence of a criminal organization and a pattern of racketeering activity. This can include crimes such as drug trafficking, extortion, and murder. In the case of Young Thug, prosecutors alleged that he was a founding member and leader of a criminal street gang known as Young Slime Life, or YSL. The indictment claimed that YSL was responsible for a string of violent crimes in the Atlanta area, dating back to 2012. It painted a picture of a group that used violence to protect its drug trafficking operations and terrorize rivals. The indictment was vast, encompassing 28 defendants alleged to be associated with YSL. It included charges of murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and participation in criminal street gang activity, among others. The prosecution's case relied heavily on the RICO statute, aiming to prove that Young Thug's alleged involvement in YSL constituted a pattern of racketeering activity. The use of RICO in this case raised eyebrows. Historically, RICO has been used to target organized crime groups like the Mafia. Critics questioned whether it was appropriate to apply this powerful statute to a group of rappers, arguing that it could have a chilling effect on artistic expression. The indictment, with its focus on Young Thug's lyrics and social media posts, sparked a debate about the boundaries between art and criminality.
Central to the prosecution's case against Young Thug was the assertion that his music and social media presence were not merely artistic expression, but rather evidence of criminal activity. They pointed to his lyrics, often violent and laced with references to drugs and gang life, as proof of his involvement in YSL's alleged crimes. One particular song, Slime Shit, became a focal point. In it, Young Thug raps, "I'm prepared to take them down." Prosecutors argued that this lyric, along with others, constituted a confession to crimes and threats against rivals. They presented social media posts and music videos that they claimed showed YSL members flashing gang signs, brandishing weapons, and engaging in violent behavior. The prosecution's strategy of using Young Thug's art against him ignited fierce debate. Critics argued that it was a dangerous precedent to treat creative expression as factual evidence. They pointed out that rap music, by its very nature, often employs hyperbole, metaphor, and storytelling. To interpret lyrics literally, they argued, was to misunderstand the genre entirely. The use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal trials has long been a controversial issue. Critics, including legal scholars and free speech advocates, argue that it unfairly targets black artists and chills artistic expression. They contend that lyrics, even those depicting violence or criminal activity, should be protected under the First Amendment.
Section 4. Fighting for Freedom, Young Thug maintains innocence. Throughout the legal proceedings, Young Thug has steadfastly maintained his innocence. His legal team has mounted a vigorous defense, challenging the prosecution's narrative and the use of his art as evidence. They have argued that YSL is not a criminal street gang, but a record label, a collective of artists and creatives. Young Thug's lawyers have characterized the prosecution's case as a misinterpretation of his creative expression. They have stressed that his lyrics, like those of many rappers, are not autobiographical confessions, but rather artistic creations that draw on the realities of his environment. They have argued that to equate his words with criminal activity is to misunderstand the nature of art and to infringe upon his First Amendment rights. The defense has also challenged the credibility of the prosecution's witnesses, some of whom are alleged co-conspirators who have cut deals with the government in exchange for lighter sentences. They have raised questions about the reliability of their testimony and the motives behind their cooperation with the prosecution. The defense's strategy has focused on undermining the prosecution's narrative, highlighting inconsistencies in the evidence, and advocating for a fair and impartial trial.
You know, this case has really got people talking. Online, there's a massive debate about the implications of using rap lyrics as evidence. Many feel it's a dangerous precedent that could affect countless artists.
Yeah, but let's not forget some people believe that if the lyrics reflect real criminal activity, they should be fair game in court. It's a complex issue, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. It's a fine line between artistic expression and potential self-incrimination. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for Young Thug, but for the entire music industry.
As the trial reaches its conclusion, all eyes are on the jury. The verdict will determine not just Young Thug's future, but could also set a significant legal precedent. The world waits, holding its breath, to see what the outcome will be.